Well, hello everybody. It's great to speak to you again. Today, still a lockdown. It gets more and more surreal by the day. I went for a walk at the weekend. I saw two strange things. Um, One was a lady who must have been 10, 15 meters away from me, and as soon as she came, she sort of hid her face like some villain from a film as soon as I said hello. Another man who was walking his dog, I said hello to him and he fell over. And he said, "I'm so sorry, I'm just not used to speaking to people." The world has certainly changed, hasn't it? But I think it's become a little bit more serious as well. My brother's church in London, the first one of their members, or one of the people who attends the church, has died of the virus. And there are a number of people in that church that have the virus. I spoke to a friend yesterday from Essex, and there's a number there, and people are concerned. It's not that we weren't taking it seriously before, but when you hear of things like that, you realise this is a very serious business. It's a very strange time. And now Christians celebrate Easter. Well, what has that got to do with anything? What is Easter and the message of Easter supposed to make sense of such grief, such fear, such unknown? So many things that are different, and the world is turned upside down. Well, the answer is that Jesus came to turn the world the right way up. The plan was from eternity, really the only plan there's ever been that matters. And his plan was to come into this world and to reconcile all things, to pull together all things, and to make sense of everything. Not only was it planned in eternity past, but when this world is put right once and for all, the great song, the main song, will be about the cross. That will be the thing that will be remembered by you and by everyone that's ever lived, long after this crisis has passed. And that was the only thing that mattered before. And what fascinates me so much about that is that when Jesus came on Palm Sunday to come and die on the cross a week later, what he did with that week seems so odd, so unusual, so normal, considering he was about to do such a great task. You think his focus would be solely on that one event. Whenever I've had a big event in my life, all I can think about is that coming exam, that coming meeting, that coming appointment. But not so with Jesus. The first thing he does when he comes into Jerusalem is smash up the temple, kick over the tables. Why does he do that? Because the cross is a place where you are meant to pray. And everything about the temple is to say that everyone can pray. Matthew shows even the lame and the blind and the unclean Jesus welcomes in. It was a place for the nations to pray. And at a time like this, all of us need to be able to pray. And because the temple had been turned into something else, Jesus trashed it, turned it over, put it what it should have been. A prayer for everyone in the world, a place where people could see through Jesus, anyone can pray. Everyone can pray. Even people who feel their lives are not right. Then next he starts answering questions that people have. They're not particularly serious about answers, but the cross is about him caring for people who don't care too much as well. Explains the Old Testament, answers the Pharisees, and he wants to answer you as well. He explains the end of the age. He then goes on in 3 of the Gospels to explain why there are earthquakes and disasters and coronaviruses, and what the end of it all will be. He talks politics and explains that the real kingdom and the only kingdom that matters is the kingdom that he is going to bring. He gives the meaning of life. He talks about church collection. He talks about a woman that nobody cares about and nobody's interested, but she does what she can, and he defends her. He teaches us how to serve. He teaches us how to know comfort. He teaches us to know how to live, because all of these things are included in his death on the cross. All of these things are given meaning. You see, when Jesus died for our sins, he was actually making sense of absolutely everything. I had a friend who used to counsel addicts, and on the back of his wall, he had a statement which said, Jesus is the answer. So now what is your question? But it would probably be more biblically accurate to say, Jesus and his death on the cross and resurrection are the answer. Now what is your question? Is that too simplistic? Absolutely not. Why? For God was pleased through Jesus to reconcile to himself all things, whether things on earth or in heaven, by making peace through his blood shed on the cross. Jesus and his death and resurrection are the answer to everything you're thinking about at this time and concerned about. Now, what's your question to him? Later in Colossians it says, the mystery of God is what? Namely Christ, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. Jesus' death and resurrection are the answer to everything. Now, what's your question? In this time when you're unnerved, in this time where you feel there are no answers, actually this Easter week, this week where we remember that Jesus died on Good Friday and was raised to new life for Easter, is really the answer for you wherever you are at this time. Run to Jesus. Look at his wounds. See that he died and was risen for you. Take all of your concerns and all of your problems, and you will find that all of the answers are found as you see him clearly crucified before you. I love you, members of Mount. I still pray for you every day and for your children. And all the people who are listening, we long for you to know this hope, this logic, this meaning that is found in Jesus who came and died for you. God bless you and God keep you. Amen.